Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this really cool Spanish-made Sonic Prospector pinball machine. It's a Spanish company, Sonic. How cool is that? Thing's in really cool shape. Beautiful little game. The Prospector has a Laurel and Hardy theme. Apparently they made a movie where they went prospecting way out west or something like that. And so it appears that the Spanish company just kind of ripped that off and made a pinball machine about it many years later. This came out in 1977. So well past Laurel and Hardy's time. But it is what it is. So cool theme. People probably enjoy that. And really beautiful playfield, nice coloring, and they put like a thick clear coat on it, so it's in pretty much perfect shape, or close to it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But it doesn't work, so we tried to play it in the previous game. In the previous video. Basically, it doesn't count up the bonus at the end of the ball just stays in there. Got a lot of problems. So we're going to do what we usually do. We're going to go through and clean everything. And while we do it, if we run into anything that's weird, that isn't adjusted right or doesn't look to be adjusted right, we'll show it to you. But we're trying to get it, instead of just fixing the issues that we know of, like, oh, why won't it kick the ball out? We're going to go through and clean all of the switches, all of the relays, all of the connections, all of the stepper units, because we're trying to make it where it's going to be reliable. If you fix just one little issue, another one will pop up. And then you fix that, and then another one will pop up. But if you go through and you clean everything, check everything, get everything adjusted right, usually they're pretty reliable. So it probably hasn't had it done to it, maybe ever. So it's 45 years old now. Been around a while. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this big, heavy playfield out of this sucker and put it over here. I'm going to turn it off, and then we're going to work down in the bottom cabinet, the bottom of the cabinet, and you can see what a Sonic was like. They pretty much just ripped off Williams. So they just made copies of all of the Williams, the way Williams did everything, and deal with it. Deal with it, people. What are you going to do? Sue them? So that's what they did. So I'll show you. It looks very similar to a Williams game inside. So let's just see what the quality's like. So here's what we're looking at. If you didn't see the previous video, we already looked through all of this, but it's, very cool. I like it. And look at the colors of the wiring, how vivid they still are after all this time. Now you might say, oh, who cares about pretty wires? Well, it makes a big difference whenever you're going to work on it. If you can still see the traces on these wires, and you can. Look at that. Beautiful. See the green one with a brown trace? That's obvious. In an American-made machine, and I prefer the American-made machine, so I'm not, I'm an American, rah-rah. I'm just saying, this is done really nice. In an American-made machine, that would all be faded. You wouldn't be able to tell that apart very easily. But this one, very nice. Very easy to see what color the wires are supposed to be. Look how cool. Big old nice cool transformer. So I went through and I cleaned all the switches on these relays here and these relays here. So I just use a little file that doesn't have much grit to it. You don't want to use anything really aggressive. I've had a lot of people say, oh, you should just spray them. People, come on now, people. Come on now, it's cloth covered wire, people. Okay, so let's say you spray contact cleaner all over it, and then it starts arcing, right? Which most of them do. On an electromechanical pinball machine, it's all AM. You can tell I've been working on radios. It's all AC, and so you get a lot of little sparks here and there on stuff, right? So a lot of the contacts are pitted or whatever. And then now you've sprayed something that often is flammable all over the cloth covered wire in here. That ain't smart, people. Come on now. Come on, people. And I'm not sure it would even work anyway, but I don't want to spray a bunch of shit in here and get all my wires with crap impregnated in them. Come on now. See, I said a curse word, pregnant. I said all kinds of stuff. You get it. Hopefully we don't get this kicked off YouTube. You know, they don't like what you say sometimes. Okay, oh, another thing I've been doing for all of you purists out there. Look at this. That label was laying down there. Look, this is wrong too. That ain't right. That label was laying down there. So I've been gluing them back on when I find them anymore. It was as simple as buying a glue stick. I have a glue stick. Now, I can't get just normal glue sticks because they're all made in China. I don't want glue sticks that are made in China for my Spanish-made machine. I want one made in Spain. So the closest I could find were these sweet made in Germany glue sticks. Look at this. Look at that. Boy, I feel like I accomplished something there. This damn thing was about $2. If you want some of these, or any of our products that we use in our repair videos, go check out our website. Go to lionsarcade.com, and we have a parts page on there where I, in fact, have a link to these very glue sticks, in case you want them for yours. But lately, I've been putting the labels back on whenever I find them. I always hated to just throw them away or whatever. I glued it back on. It's very simple. Just took a second because I actually had the right tool. Okay, so I wanted to show you something interesting. Now, one of the things that it's doing is it doesn't, when the ball lands in the out hole, it doesn't move to the next ball. Okay, so this is what it says is the ball index relay. And look at the plate on it. Now, some of you engineers that are always telling me I'm doing it wrong, I need your knowledge now. You people are not completely useless. You know what you're doing in general. So much that you love to tell me that I don't know what I'm doing. First of all, the coil, notice it says Sega on it. Sega SA. So there's the Sega reference we were talking about. So it's a Spanish company owned by Sega that made a pinball machine, and the name of the company is Sonic. They made a bunch of pinball machines. But look at this. That's an electromagnet. I mean, that's how it works. You run power through it, and it pulls the little plate in. But look at the plate. They put a piece of electrical tape on it. So all of you experts tell me, is that damn thing still going to work with a piece of electrical tape on it? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, people. So we might have to pull that off, but that's something that we want to look at, right? And I just went through and cleaned them and adjusted them if they needed adjusting. And I did find a couple that needed adjusting. So here I'll show you this one. So when the coil, Sega, when the coil pulls in, this switch is open. And when it pulls in, now it's closed. And I can tell that it's closed because if I look at the small blade, it moves when the big blade hits it. And then it's opening because it moves and the small blade doesn't move. So clearly it's hitting it, pushing it a little bit, and then when you let go of it, it's pulling away from it a little bit. And then here's one that's the same. Here's one that's the same. Okay, but look at this one. It's closed, and when this pulls in, it opens. Now watch when it goes back, it pushes it a little bit. That's called self-wiping action. So they rub against each other a little bit, and they will actually clean themselves. So on an old EM pinball machine like this, if you keep playing it, usually you don't run into a lot of problems because it cleans itself by literally the switches rubbing against each other. Okay, now this one is a make and break. So the long switch is in the middle, and right now it's connected to this one. Well, when you push it in, it opens from that one. And then you see when it goes back, it moves it a little bit. But at the same time, when you push it in, it closes this one. So it goes back and forth, and this one is the same. So that's how they should work. So basically, you just want to make sure they're all doing that. Now, if one is just barely moving it, you think, oh, it should move it more. Don't mess with it. It's probably fine. But if one just clearly, the more you look at it, it ain't touching. adjust that one, right? You don't want to go through and adjust each one and try to get them perfect, because there's kind of a timing to all of these, so you'll mess something up. You'll just don't try to make it perfect. It ain't going to happen. Okay, so there's also one here that's a latching one. So they are one way, and then whenever this one trips, they go the other way. So it goes back and forth. By the way, when you're testing these, like so let's say that you're messing with this. Notice I about touched this, but then I changed my mind and I went over here and touched this. That's because if you push this down, you get a different reaction up here than if you push this down. Maybe not in this instance, but you get my point. This is what is actually going to happen. The magnet's going to pull this in. So you want to test it by pulling that in. You don't want to mess with this up here. You might push it too far where it pulls this end up off the spring and all that. And it'll look like they're opening when they're not. So it's just a best practice thing, right? Don't ever, so when you're testing it, don't ever mess with this by pushing that down. You want to push this down to make sure you're seeing what it's actually doing. Similar thing on flippers. I'll show you that some other time. Okay, so that's those. The game index relay, though, if it's got that electrical tape on it, I wonder what that is involved with. The ball index relay. So inside the cabinet, I have a set of schematics, but I also have this little manual here. And I know a lot of our viewers are European, so you're going to you're going to roll your eyes at this, but it's the truth. It's just the truth, people. I only tell the truth, lobbyists. It's the truth. This paper feels different than regular paper. It does. It's European paper. It feels different. I don't know what it is. Now this paper, this feels the same as normal American paper. This crap, I'm telling you, it feels different. It's got like a different texture to it. I'm just saying it does. I didn't make it. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to talk bad about the Spanish-made pinball machine. I like the Spanish-made pinball machine. It don't matter what the paper feels like. I'm just saying it feels a little different. There's something wrong with it. Or something right with it. I don't know. Okay. So here is the relay. Now in this manual, it's going to show us exactly what that does. Ball index is energized by the tilt relay. Also by the 100-point, 1,000-point, and 10,000-point relays through the extra ball relay. So I don't know if that ever... That don't even make sense. I don't know why the hell it would do that. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it's doing. That's usually the ball index relay is usually the one where it basically it pulls in so that it knows if you scored anything. So you shoot the ball, ball one, it goes up, you don't hit anything, and you go back into the out hole, it puts the ball back out, and you can shoot it again if the ball index relay didn't come in. So why would it do that? It's so that if the out-hole kicker kicks the ball out, but it doesn't go all the way out, and then it rolls back into the out-hole. That's ball two. Get your next quarter ready, right? So it doesn't want to do that. So if it kicks the ball out, and then the ball goes all the way around into the out-hole, for all it knows, it just went halfway out, got stuck, and then rolled back down. So it doesn't want to take a ball from you for that. So it creates this circuit, which is used to step up to the next ball. So if this goes in, that will allow the ball count unit to move up. So if this never goes in, the ball count unit will never go up. Our ball count unit is not going up, but nothing's happening at the end of the ball. So I don't think this has anything to do with it. And then one of the switches is in the hold circuit to the coin setup relay. One of the switches is in circuit with the ball count unit, like we said. One of the switches pulses to the 10,000-point relay, and one of the switches is the hold circuit to that relay. Okay, so anyway, boy, this is cool feeling paper. I wish you were here so you could feel it. Maybe I can get a close-up of it, and you can say, oh yeah, that's different stuff, obviously. That's not American paper. Look at that. It's like parchment or something. Look at it. You see what I'm saying, right? There's like a... This stuff might be silk or something. I don't know. It's just made different. It's how they make paper in Spanish and in Spain in 1977. I thought Spanish was a country there for a minute. Me no sé. So the next thing we're going to mess with is the score motor. So the only thing that usually goes wrong with these, they'll get dirty, but what'll happen is somebody will put something inside the cabinet, and when they put like the paperwork or something, and when they put it in, it will hit one of these top switches and bend it. So one of these will get bent out of the way. All of these look pretty good. See how that one's not touching? But it depends on where the cam position is, you know. But sometimes you'll see where the top switch has a problem. The other switches don't usually have a problem. But sometimes. And so as that turns, there's a motor on the side. As that turns, we're unplugged, by the way. As that turns, these little bumps on the cam, or little valleys in the cam, like that one, the little rider here will fall down in that hole and make those switches all change state. So you can see that they just move up and about as it goes along. I don't know if I'm going the right way. Yes, I am. And it kind of just makes them go up and down, and they call it the score motor because to score points, for it to do math, like if you need 50 points, it needs to give you 10 points 5 times. That motor needs to turn, so the score motor. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean the switches the same way with a little file just to make sure that they're all not covered in gunk and gook. And if everything's fine, we'll move on to the next part, which will be these 2 stepper units. All right, I didn't see anything wrong with it. So let's move on to these stepper units. So this is the ball count unit, which is definitely never doing anything, but I don't think it's getting the pulse to do anything. Let's see if, or I assume it's the ball count unit. Watch me, what if I glued that back on the wrong one? Okay, so I'm just going to see if it moves or if it's locked up. Yeah, it ain't working right. Basically, it did step up, but this isn't resetting it. Yeah, I don't think that's. I think maybe that's supposed to be down on the other side. Yeah. So see how that's pushing that way down? That doesn't make any sense. So look. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of these you can just fix by thinking about what in the world were they trying to do here. Let me see if I can get you closer where you can see better. Don't get dizzy. You're going down in. Don't get dizzy. Oh, maybe I should have backed you out. Maybe you can just sit in there. What do you think? No, probably not. Okay, see that switch there? So think about what's going on here. The switch is closed. All right? And then you well, I guess you move it, however you move it. It's just, it's not right. So basically when this resets, this spring should spin this back down like that. So that's like the home position. It's not doing it right now. And then so the switch is closed, then it moves it up, switch is still closed, moves it up, switch is still closed, moves it up, switch is still closed. So that doesn't make any sense. What would make sense is, if I can do it without taking it all apart. There we go. Okay. So watch this little number. That's home position. Switch is closed. Okay. Position 2. Position. The thing ain't moving very well, but position 3, position 4, and then it opens. Okay. So I put the ball count unit sticker on there. I'm not so sure that's the ball count unit. I think that might be the coin unit. But we'll see. We'll see, people. We'll figure it out. If it is, I can take that sticker off. Don't worry about it. I just think that it's, what's the odds that I would glue it on the wrong one? See the dust down there where it was laying? Okay, so that one's not working right. And then this one, let's see if it's any better. It's moving up. I'm watching the other side where y'all can't see. It's about 4 positions. Yeah, this one's working good. It's working. So we'll go around to the other side. We can look at them over there. Okay, so this should reset it, but it's not working. But it should, and that would go all the way back to there. Okay, and then when this one pulls in, it walks it forward. It's not working all that great either. So it's got issues. There's issues there, folks. And then this one, it's reset. Walk forward. Okay. And then it resets with that one. I think this might be the ball count unit, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. Okay. So I'm going to clean those up. Now it's hard to. You may notice I didn't lift this up out of the machine. A lot of times you can, but this one they've soldered one of the wires to the coin meter, so I'd have to break that loose to lift it up out of there. But what I'm going to do is carefully take the spider off. Clean the contacts. I use sandpaper, really fine sandpaper. You don't want to go too crazy with it. That really pisses off a lot of people, but folks, it works great for me. That's what I'm going to do. And then I put a little bit of dielectric grease on it. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And then I oil where the shaft goes through the metal bearing, just to get it all where everything's moving nice. And then on this back side, you need to oil all of the pivots. Everywhere there's something that pivots, like here, right? What'll happen is that'll get stuck where it just doesn't move right. So anything there's something that pivots around, if it's metal on metal, it needs to be oiled. And I just use 3-in-1 oil for that. And then the same on this one. This one's actually stopped up, so it's either the friction from the spider on the metal plate, or the Bakelite plate as it slides over the contacts, or you've got some kind of dried up grease in the shaft here where it goes through the bearing. So we'll do that. So I'll work on this first one first, and then I'll show you kind of how it comes apart. So I need to grab a pair of pliers to take that first nut off. Okay, so we've got both of these working good. Reset. We'll step up. Doing its thing. And this one was the one that wouldn't reset. Doing their thing. On to the Jones plugs. So these plugs get all filthy. Let's see how these look. They look really good, actually. Wow. Wow. Let's see how the ones in the back look. Those are the ones that usually get all messed up. We looked back here in the previous video. If you didn't see it, you're one of those people that reads from the middle of the book. They're pretty clean. A little bit going on, but it looks like whatever I was saying, that they hadn't been cleaned in 40 years, I was wrong. Ooh, some of these are really long. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20. It's a 24-pin Jones plug. So you gotta rock it a little bit to get it out and try not to break it in half. Boy, wouldn't it have been something if I broke it in half right on video. These, I guess, are brass. I guess. What is that? Why does it have a yellow tint? Maybe they're gold plated. So need to be cleaned up just a little bit, but they'll probably work fine the way they are. So I'm going to clean those, and then we're going to slide the playfield back in and see if our little excursion down in the bottom fixed anything. Okay, so I figured out I had the sticker definitely on the wrong stepper unit. That was definitely the coin unit, which we can tell by that one switch. The reason that switch that we were messing with opens at the 4th position is so that you can only play a 4-player game. That little switch saves you your quarter. So you start a 1-player game, you start a 2-player game, a 3-player game, and then you start a 4-player game. The next time you hit start, it won't take a credit from you because of that little switch being open. So that's obviously the coin unit. And then this is the ball count unit. So I had it on the wrong one. You learn. And so that was first order of business. When I said earlier that this playfield was really heavy, I meant it. Look at this thing. We showed this on the previous video as well. It's got 2 bonus units. Now, strangely, one of the bonus units just has 1 finger. The other bonus unit has all kinds of stuff going on. So that'll be interesting to see why that is. How do they get away with just this? It must be that this one does all the math, and this one is just kind of a placeholder. So it's just weird. That's strange. And then you've got this big, huge, heavy relay bank here. Not to mention all the coils. Look at this. There's 3 pop bumpers. There's a kick out. There's a lane that kicks out here. There's another kick out down here. And then you've got your 2 kickers and your 2 flippers. And then over here, you've got another whole board full of relays. Look at that. So I'm serious. That thing's pretty heavy. One of the most heavy ones that I've put in a game, in an older game. Now the DMD games have all kinds of crap going on, so they're very heavy. So that's that. And then, so we're going to test it here in a second. But check this out. We got, it's hard to tell, but we got some fan mail, it says. So there's a lot of wear on here, but that's from the post office. This gentleman didn't send us something dirty here. Come on now. The post office did that. But it's fan mail, right? Here's our address if you want to send us a letter or something. Don't send us anything expensive, people. We don't want people spending a bunch of money on us. But this comes from Trevino Blue Tape in Vero Beach, Florida. And that's his zip code. I don't think you can track him down from that. We're trying not to dox anybody. So this is from Trevino. He sent us the pinball book. That's the back of the pinball book. The pinball book. Check this out. I don't have this one. Look, we can see our reflection. See, that's why I'm not on camera. I don't have a reflection. I'm a vampire. See how you can't see me in the reflection of that pinball? Okay. Pinball. So it basically shows all the machines through the years, right? And check this out. It's kind of old. 1994. It was printed in Surrey, England. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it was printed in Secaucus, New Jersey. So it's like a book. It goes through it. It shows like a lot of the old machines. I really like these, by the way. This is really my speed, this kind of stuff. Actually, I've got one at my house that is about like that. Not as nice as that, but I like the old school stuff. And so it shows the old ones, and it goes through, and it goes through. Let's see if it's got a Playmatic game in it. What do you think? We're too far along. We done made it to 1980. Let's see if it's got... Here we go. Criterium 75, a Spanish-made pinball machine with glass side panels. So there's one from Spain. I don't know that they'll have our Prospector in here. The Golden Age. Ain't that the truth? Let's check the other way just to make sure. Wouldn't that be a trip? Yeah, I think we've gotten too far along. Pinball Fever and the Rock Era. There's the back of a kit. No, what's it? Yeah. No. Kiss back glass. Thought it was the back of it. Heavy Metal Meltdown. We did a video on it as well. We haven't had a Rolling Stones. We've had a Genie. Had Kiss, of course. Heavy Metal Meltdown's a great game if you haven't played that. That's going to be one of those ones everybody wants. I haven't had a Truck Stop or a Lady Luck. I've got the old Lady Luck. Special Force Girls. Boy, that looks great. Boy, that just screams Gottlieb, doesn't it? All is not lost. Superman. Haunted House. Silver Ball. So anyway, it's this great little picture book. Got it from Trevino. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. We will cherish it. Thank you, man. All right, let me lay that down, and then let's see if it will even start or do anything different than what it was doing in the previous video. Okay, so why would I think that fixed it? Just because we went through and found some dirty stuff, and hopefully we stumbled onto something. But we pretty much know that everything in the bottom, as far as we can tell, is ready to go, you know. There still may be problems that I missed or that I've caused, but we'll see. It counted down the bonus, which it wasn't doing before. You saw earlier it was stuck up here somewhere. Look how beautiful this game is. Now this is just kind of a, this is not a high-end game where like everybody's dying for one of these. But it sure looks good. So I think maybe people have been missing the boat on this one. This might be a good one. We'll have to play it a little bit and see if we ever get it working. Okay, so it did count down the bonus when we turned it on, which it didn't do before, I don't believe. So maybe that's good. Let's start it. We do have a score up there. Now, we haven't messed with the back glass, I mean the back box, so those may or may not reset. Yeah. Okay, so they reset, but we were getting this before. Okay, and it'll play. But not everything will work. So, let's see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Advances the bonus gold, it says. No lights, but it could be that the stepper unit's moving, and if that disc is dirty and doesn't have a good electrical connection, because it hasn't been cleaned yet, the lights won't light up. But there were some lit up earlier. So the bonus gold is at least trying to work. And then this one says advanced silver bonus. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I got 1,100 points, and look, it says when lit. It's not lit. So that's probably working. This one says advanced silver bonus, and it is lit. Still getting 100 points. But we don't see it, so maybe not. Okay, advanced gold bonus when lit. There we go. Yeah, so that's working, but I think it was before. 6, 5, gold double bonus, 10,000. I don't think we had all this working before. Okay, now, before we got stuck down here, it said 5,000 and advanced silver bonus, and it wouldn't kick back out. So, what would have made all of this stuff start working again? Maybe the Jones plugs, you know, removing them and reinserting them. I don't know. Maybe the score motor switches just being dirty. Maybe there was a relay somewhere that whenever I cleaned it, there were a couple where it looked like maybe it wasn't touching, so I bent them a little bit, but nothing that jumped out at me. Okay, so the ultimate thing was, will it end the ball and then go on to ball 2? So we're at ball 1. We're in only a one-player game. Oh, yeah. Very cool. Okay, so this said double bonus when lit. It didn't say anything about same player shoots again, I don't think. But it could be, maybe it doesn't advance until you score, that ball index thing, you know? Oh, look. We're on player 2. You know, I think we had problem with this, with something similar on a Playmatic, but maybe not. Okay, so let's try ending that one. Yeah, so it's playing through all the players. Player 3. But it is, the playfield appears to be working. A lot of the stuff that wasn't working before is now working. Player 4. Okay. No, it was a Chicago coin that we had that was giving us all that kind of problems doing this. Okay, and now back to player 1 probably. Yeah. Ball in play number 2, as it should be. Okay. So that coin unit that we were messing with is it's actually the one that decides if it's more than a one-player game. So we might have screwed something up, people. I don't know, people. All right, well, we'll mess with that next time. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. This is where we're at, but this is just the beginning. We got to mess with the playfield, and we got to mess with the back box, and then we have to troubleshoot it and figure out why it's doing stuff like this, right? But yeah, cool game, though. I think it's going to play cool. Look how this ball goes around, and you land in a pocket over here. That's so cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a game. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that on anything. Let's see if it goes to player 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's just in a 4-player game, but we started a 1-player game. So we'll figure that out. But leave your comments below. Let us know what you think so far. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. And folks, don't forget, check out my brother Donnie. He did a video the other day on his, he bought a 1966 Chevy C10 semi-truck. Now, it's all old and rusted and everything, but it's a freaking semi-tractor trailer truck from 1966 with the old school Chevy pickup truck look. He bought the freaking semi-truck with the 5th wheel in the back. He doesn't have a trailer for it or anything yet. Well, he's got trailers, but he don't have one for that, but whatever. So he bought that, and he put up a video showing it off, because some things, you don't see them too often. They're not super valuable or anything, but nobody ever really messes with them. And it's been going like wildfire. Most of the time, whenever you put out a video, it goes like this. It kind of levels off. It goes up, and then it kind of levels off, right? His video, it's doing this. It just keeps going. Keeps going. He's so excited. So check out my brother Donnie. The link is down below. I'm over there with him on his channel a lot of the times, working on vehicles and old buildings and things like that. But if you want pinball machines, arcade games, and jukeboxes, you'll have to join us here in 2 days. So we'll see you in 2 days on our next video, where we'll keep working through this thing. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good evening.